Fright Night 2011 is a remake of the 1985 movie of the same name. This one stars Anton Yelchin, rest in peace, Imogen Poots, David Tennant, Toni Collette, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Dave Franco, and Colin Farrell. And it follows a high school student named Charlie, who is played by Anton Yelchin, as he and his friends discover that his new next-door neighbor, Jerry, played by Colin Farrell, might be a vampire. In order to prove that Jerry is a vampire, Charlie enlists the help of Peter Vincent to try and help him destroy and take down this threat once he learns that Jerry is a vampire and get rid of this vampire cult once and for all. Fright Night is a movie that I think is going to go overlooked for a lot of people. For me, I don't see why, because Fright Night has been a staple in my October Halloween horror movie watches for the past 3 or so years. Fright Night is just such a damn fun movie. I love watching this. It's awesome seeing Anton Yelchin. Like I said before, rest in peace, man. Such a tragedy that he is gone at such a young age, but it is so much fun watching him just take on vampires. And David Tennant, who played Barty Crouch Jr. in Goblet of Fire, playing a role like Peter Vincent. This dude just adds a lot of charisma and humor to the movie that was absent for the first half of the movie, at least.
Look at that.
Okay, get out.
No, please.
You're not job. Ginger!
I'm not. I know what I saw.
No, you don't. Illusion, remember? People see what they want to see. This is...
You don't collect this stuff. You don't have all this stuff if you don't believe. And I promise you, I can take you to him. I can show you what you've been waiting for.
What, in Clark County, Nevada? Ginger! Yeah, well, that's a hotbed of supernatural activity.
It is, though. It's genius. It's genius. It's a transient population. People work all night. They sleep all day.
Get this loser out of my sight, please.
This dude just adds so much more than what was already there. He is literally one of my favorite characters in a horror movie. Everything this guy says is like spot on hilarious. It is just downright perfection. The thing about this movie is that I love how the first half is kind of more of a, I won't say a slow build, but it presents more of a mystery, whereas the second half of the movie just dives into vampire action movie extravaganza, which I am fine with for this movie because I was already having such a good time trying to figure out if Jerry was a vampire, and as we find out very early on in the movie, he is a vampire, and just trying to see Charlie unravel that mystery after being told by a few other people that Jerry is a vampire. It's a really intriguing first half, and then when all of the vampire action extravaganza starts happening in the second half, you feel like it's earned. You feel like you got to a point where the story just has to go there. This is what everything is leading to from that first half of the movie, from that sense of intrigue, from that sense of mystery, from Charlie discovering that Jerry is actually a vampire. And I gotta say, the way they set things up, too, is actually really good. How Charlie learns through his old friend Ed that Charlie might be a vampire, and then he's starting to second guess it, but then he's a little bit intrigued. But then when he sees that Ed actually had proof, and he sees that the next door neighbor is actually going over to Jerry's house to have a drink, he knows something's up, so when he infiltrates the house, it's actually really intriguing. It actually kind of unsettles you. I never really thought about that on my other rewatches of this movie. That entire sequence might be the best sequence of the entire movie. Another aspect that goes really overlooked in this movie is definitely the camera work, especially when, as you already know, I've been talking spoilers. I didn't give a spoiler warning, but this is going to be spoilers. So, when Charlie, his mother, and his girlfriend are actually trying to escape from Jerry once his mother and his girlfriend realize that Charlie was right and Jerry actually is a vampire, the ensuing car chase is filmed actually really well. Lots of long one takes. You can tell where there are cuts, but it does this a couple times throughout this entire sequence. These one-take shots never feel like they overstay their welcome. They're just the right amount of length. I actually never noticed in previous watches that was all one take. I just love how the camera slowly pans to like one side of the car and then back. It's brilliant. If there's one thing I have to complain about with Fright Night, especially watching it on Blu-ray, is it is very obvious that you can tell that the movie was filmed in 3D, so you can obviously tell where the 3D stuff is coming from and where it's supposed to be, like some blood shatter or glass coming right at you at the screen. When I watch movies that are made in 3D and then they're not in 3D, It gets a little bit annoying for me when I see that. Honestly, that could just be looked at as a nitpick. But for me, it's actually a problem because I know it's supposed to be in 3D, but I'm not watching it in 3D. And honestly, when they're coming at you, like, it just looks so fake. The computer-generated imagery doesn't look as good as it could because it is converted into 3D. That's really my main issue with Fright Night. I think Fright Night is a fairly underrated movie. It actually did get good reviews, but its IMDb rating stands at 6.3. Damn thing should be higher because I am going to give Fright Night an A. I love this movie. I don't care what anybody says. This is a great movie. I love watching this every Halloween. It is one of the most fun, entertaining vampire flicks you will ever see. And a lot of that has to do with David Tennant's character, Peter Vincent, who just adds so much to an already great movie. So guys, stay tuned for more reviews of horror movies, Halloween-themed movies coming very soon throughout the month of October. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.